And there we are. Okay. All right. So let me screen share really quick. So what I want to show you is a technique in Illustrator, but I also would like to show you eventually a little bit of what's on Canvas. But first and foremost, let's dive in with the technique, because I think that is going to help you a whole lot. So imagine that it's time for you to color your illustration, or even fill it in with black and white. That's okay. Color means bring some fills into your illustration. So imagine you're illustrating this calf. I'm actually stealing the theme from Andy, and I hope he's okay with that. I talked to him in office hours, so I know he's okay with that. So I'm going to show you how you do it. I'm going to start from scratch. The reason why I have already part of it done is so that this demo doesn't last too long with me doing every line. So how do you bring in the image? First and foremost, you obviously find it by taking it. You go and capture it. You might have found something really important and interesting online that has all those views. We talked about the requirement for those images, right? Have 4 different views, be very clear, easy to kind of see so that you can trace it, and et cetera, et cetera. So let's say you found it. So you want to go and say File, Place. And I'm going to go and take that image of the calf that is right here and say Place. And I'm going to say Place right here. So you can see how much bigger it is, right? So I'm going to first and foremost zoom in and shrink it. I'm holding the Shift key so that it stays fairly, the proportions are maintained. The Shift key, that's what it does. Maintain the ratio of width and height. And now I'm going to zoom in and say, okay, I'm in good shape. Does anybody know what this cross means? Does anybody know what the cross means? You can just say no.
No.
Cool, thank you. Just wait a second, because I don't want to go too fast and not give you a chance to speak up. So imagine that I want this element to be a traceable element, a traceable image. If I bring it in and I see a cross, means that this is a link to a file. And a link means is a piece of text in behind the scene in Illustrator. When you see that image, there isn't the image itself. There is a piece of text that says, go in Enrica's desktop in the folder called student so-and-so and grab the image called calf so-and-so. So there is a piece of text that tells me the path to this image. Now, every time you have a link, you cannot use this image as a template, and template is a traceable image. So let me show you how you can avoid bringing it in as a link though. If you go under place down here, do you guys see that right here you have options? So you can say, you know what, I want to actually bring it in as a template, and you could click on that. You have to first obviously browse to the image, sorry, right here. So you see, when I browse to the image, the default is link. You could actually change it. You can say I want it as a template, or you can uncheck the link. And if you uncheck the link, that does something called embedding. Embedding means now the image actually lives inside your Illustrator file. So let me actually bring it in as embedded, and I'll show you that it doesn't have that cross, okay? I'm going to say place. And now I'm going to click, and you'll see, I'm going to zoom out because you cannot see a whole lot. But you see that this one does not have a cross, and this one does. So I recommend, if you know you want to eventually later on trace it, to bring it in as embedded. But let's say you didn't. I'm going to hit delete. You accidentally brought it in as a link. What do you do? So if you select it right here, you'll see that in Illustrator, you'll find on the side. Now, if you're in a prior version of Illustrator, it might be on the top right here. Oh, actually, it is on the top. Cool. It's in both places. So you can have it right here on the top, or you can choose it right here on the side. Quick actions. But if you click on embed, now the image is embedded. That is good, right? But what I told you was that I wanted to be able to trace it. And to trace an image, the ideal is to actually have it as a template. And template means the image gets grayed out and locked, right? So how do I get that? Besides, we already know, because I showed you earlier, you could go back and do File, Place again, and you could actually bring this image right now as a template directly by doing this, right? But let me show you how you also do it if you didn't do it in the first place. You can choose this image. You can go in the layers right here, create a new layer so that you have a layer to use to draw on, because I told you once you template something, it will lock it. Now I'm going to select this layer. I'm going to go in here and choose template. Now this image is grayed out and is locked, as you can see. That means the only thing I can do is draw on layer 2. And the reason why it's locked is that way it doesn't I don't risk to move it accidentally while I'm working, right? Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, what did you click to template it again?
Let me undo it. You select it, go under the options in the layer palette and choose template.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Sorry, I accidentally templated the layer 2. That doesn't really do anything. Now be aware that if you ever decide to release it from template, you can go in and choose template again, and now you're free. I want to prove something to you though, because I told you that if you have it as a file place here, if you have it as a link, so if I go and select this image and I actually have it as a link and I say place and I bring it in, notice that if I go in here, oh gosh, it allows me to template it. It used to be that it would not allow you to template it, but now it does. That is really cool. Let's see if it also embeds it at the same time. Sorry, I just noticed that if you go in the layer right now, it used to be that it wouldn't let you template a image that was linked. But now this is a new version of Illustrator, is a 2020. And I am delighted that it's actually doing it, because it's been a long time that I say shouldn't be smart enough by now. All right, so let's go in the layer again. And in that, I'm going to go in and say template. Yeah, it does it. Fantastic. So either way, but now you know at least the difference between template, embed. You know how you can bring one or the other. Remember when you go in file place, you have those cute little boxes right in there. Oops. You know why it's not letting me file place it? So right now, if I go in and say file place is grayed out. Why?
It's because you selected the layer that the image is on.
Yes. And what's the problem with that, Andy?
It's locked.
It's locked. You're awesome. Thanks. Super cool. I love thinkers. Yeah, it was my mistake, really. I didn't realize I was on the wrong layer. But if I go on layer 2 and I go do file place, now whatever I select right here, now I can decide if you want a link or if you want to template it. What if you don't want to template it and you don't want to link, you want to embed it? So it doesn't have the cross, lives inside of Illustrator, is not a path like it would be in a link environment. So I uncheck link. That means it does not create that piece of text that says, go grab the image inside CSC student work and blah, blah, new underscore forest underscore cap. It doesn't put a piece of text that says, go grab the image there. If I have this, that means I uncheck link and I say place, it will take the image and bring it inside of Illustrator. What is the downside?
The file is really big.
Much bigger file. Yep. What is, good job, Sarah. Thank you. What is the downside of linking, of having a link there?
If you don't have the link, you won't be able to access the image.
You're awesome. So oftentimes, after you're done with your illustration, people tend to email them to the teacher, turn them in, send them to the client. And it's really sad when you open a file in which there was a link and the person completely forgot to include it, because the first thing you see is a big piece of text that says broken link. So imagine you're sending it to a client that is paying you $100 an hour, and the first thing they see is a mistake. That's not gonna fly. Imagine you're sending it to Enrica that wants to give you those 14 points out of 14, but the first thing she sees is a broken link. How can she give you that 14 points when some other student don't have it as a broken link? How can I, be fair? But I know you guys know by now after this demo that you got to pay close attention. Now for this exercise, guys, trust me, just embed it. Don't worry, because I know you will, if you link it, you will eventually lose the link, means not turn it in. So just embed it. Now remember, after you traced it, you can also delete it. And that's why I taught you how you can go on that layer and unlock it. Because right now, if you want to delete it, you cannot even select it, right? So you would have to go in here and say untemplate first, then you select it and you hit delete. So anyway, so how do I trace this cow though, now that we know it, that's what I need to do? So it's up to you. And you'll see in Canvas on week 3, I'll show you in a minute how you have all these tools very well explained through different video. The brush tool, the pencil tool, the pen tool, the exercises due for Sunday is the pen tool exercise. It's really nicely done. So you choose what you want to choose. You might choose the pen tool or the pencil tool. I'm going to use the pen tool for the reason I told you in my past lectures. And how with the pen tool, you have full control on how many anchor points you do, right? So if you want to trace this cow, I obviously need to go on the drawing layer because that one is locked. So I'm going to go in the drawing layer and then I start tracing, right? And I start making my anchor points. Now, you'll see that at a certain point, you realize, ouch, I have a fill and I don't want to fill because eventually it's going to block my view. How do I get rid of the fill? Now, it's not much of a problem if you just get out of your pen tool. You might say, you know what? I just realized that I need to hit enter and get out. Then I need to select my path. And right now, here I can see that it says it has no stroke and has a white fill. And that's not going to fly. So I'm going to actually click on this icon that gives me a black stroke and a white fill. And then I'm going to click on this slash that tells me, hey, look, you can decide to assign no white fill in this case. So if I have this in the front and I hit this, it will remove the fill. If I Control Z it, if I have actually the stroke in the front and I hit this, it will remove the stroke, right? Control Z it again. I'm going to actually remove the fill because once that I have the fill gone, I can see a lot better what I'm doing. So how do I connect back to this path though, right? I go back to my pen tool and I showed that in the past, but I want to show it again. You go to the very last point where the pen tool develops this beautiful little slash sign and you click and drag. And now you're basically back to exactly where you were. So that's really helpful. Now, when you get to this point, if you see that how your handles are like kind of in a tandem, they're like this, they go together. So what if you want these bunny ears handles? Means if you want handles that create kind of a point, you want to hold Option or Alt on the keyboard. Look what happens now when I hold Alt. My handles are independent. And if I do this, now the next time I create a line, it's going to be tangent to this second handle. I'm going to do it again, guys, because I feel like it's important. In fact, let me also zoom in. There we are. If you hold the space bar, guys, it will allow you to use the grabber hand, but stay within your tool. That is really cool. You never get kicked out of the tool if you hold the space bar. So what you can do here is you can click and drag. And we're good, except how do I do this turn here, right? So you kind of drag for a little bit, and it doesn't need to be too long because the longer the handle, the bigger that curve is going to be. And I don't need that big of a curve. So I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to hold Option or Alt and do this. And now I can click again and come up with something that goes down. And right now I'm actually going to be not super accurate because I'll show you eventually. I'm going to go all around. In fact, I'm going to actually hit enter because I'll show you that here I have the same exact drawing, just done a little bit more complete. I still have some stuff that is not perfectly accurate. Do you see how here this ear is a little bit too big down here? So I have the same problem right here. How do I fix it? I use my white arrow and I click and oops, Control Z. I accidentally grabbed instead of the anchor, the handle. And now I grab the anchor. You can move it like that. And if you actually go in and shorten your handles, it also tightens things up, right? Now, by the way, guys, I cannot see you on Zoom, sadly. I just see Andy and Sarah and the image for Kale. So I don't see the other 20 people. So if you need me to stop, just shout, Enrica, I need your help. Or just Enrica will do, okay? I'm sorry, but I wish I could see you raising your hand, but with the Zoom environment, it's not that easy. So here I can see that I can be more accurate also by grabbing this and moving it out, making the handle kind of go in a little bit. Same here, right? I can go in and tweak each individual point to fit my needs. Like this one, the problem I have here is the handles are so long. Let me shorten them a little bit so that that curve is not that big. Now, if I shorten it though here, you might end up with a problem up here where I need more space. So I might need an extra anchor right there, right? Command Z. Right here, there's kind of like a bump. There's a bump that comes out and then it goes back in. So I don't have enough anchors. I'm very concerned all the time to do minimum anchor point, and sometimes I make too few. Now, if you're doing the symbol though, sometimes it's actually really nice that you simplify the shape oftentimes. Now notice that I might want to round this up. You have those beautiful little element right here that allows you to round the things up. Keep that in mind too, right? But so here, if you need an extra handle, what do? Remember, under here, you can add anchor, remove anchor, or even make it into bunny ears if you need it. So make it into a sharp point. So I'm going to go in here and actually add an anchor or two, to be honest. I might need two, one before and one after the bump. Then I'm going to zoom in, go with my white arrow. Now I can shorten this a little bit, I think. I have to zoom out to see what I'm doing, really, right? I'm just kind of right now trying to guess what's the best thing to do. I'm going to zoom out. Yeah, this one is definitely not working. I need to make it much more bellied just by pulling up this. And the same here. Here I made it too small. I need to kind of pull it up a little bit. You get the point, right, guys? Are you seeing what I'm doing? I'm actually going around with the pen tool and then go in and massage my shape to be loyal to whatever I want to do. Is everybody with me so far?
Yes.
Any questions? Okay. Again, interrupt me if you have questions. I don't get offended one tiny bit. Okay. So what I wanted to do today, though, was this is a fairly simple process. It's really a matter of going in and tracing and then massaging the line. It is a little bit harder to color. And I will show you a video on coloring that Nick made in which he shows certain techniques. But he did not show what I'm showing you right now. So that's why we're kind of complementary. He shows you his ways. I show you my way. When you are proficient with the software, remember, you always have 3 or 4 ways to achieve anything. And you always have a favorite one, like the one you do all the time. I love to use this thing called live paint. Why? Because the way Illustrator think of, sorry, I was telling today, I was actually telling Andy how I get really bent on being accurate. And sometimes I cannot stop finagling with my line. And right now I'm tempted to do that again. But I told him, I'll try not to. I've got to chill. So the problem with these lines is if I need to color it, I know I need to put a fill in here, right? And one easy way to do it is go on the color and click. Or go on the swatches and choose which one to do. Life is good, right? Easy peasy. But what if, just like the cow is, part of it is white. And I forgot which one is white. Let me actually remove it. Okay, the center is white. So what happens if the center is white? I do know in Illustrator it's super easy to color closed fills, right? So if you have any fill that is closed in Illustrator, I'm going to make a circle. Boom, no problem, is colored. But if I have an open fill, and let me do an open fill, that is what I have here, right? In the center of the cow, in the white area, I actually have an open fill. So how does Illustrator deal with the open fill? If you try to color it, it creates a straight line between the first and the last point. That can be a problem. So if I go and grab this line right now, and I try to give it a white color, that's what it does. That's not going to work, right, guys? So what can I do? What else can I do so I don't have to do everything based on closed fills? Sometimes it's kind of frustrating. And it's really hard when you have overlapping, shapes, because then you have to use the layer stack to try to hide certain parts that are kind of trying to follow the other part. It gets kind of complicated. My point is, if I was supposed to do this white area as a closed fill, I would have to, at a certain point, kind of mimic the shape of the outer path, right? Means there would be a certain point that this line would have to kind of follow this path and then be closed on the side. But how do I make sure that these two paths are identical? It gets laborious. So what I like to use instead is something called the live paint. So let me show you how it works. So you have to select all your paths. And I was explaining to Andy in office hour how if you go on your layers, you have this beautiful little tiny loop next to the layer where everything is in, and you click on it. And now all your paths are done. Cool. Done means selected. Done in terms of selection, right? Now, how do I switch to live paint? One option is to go in here. This is the live paint bucket. I always use the K tool. It's the K key. It's so much easier for me. I don't even have to look at where it is. I just hit K. When you hit K, look what happens to your mouse. It turns into a bucket, but at the moment it has a stop sign. And the reason why is because if you look above that bucket, you see that the fill at the moment above the bucket is none. So what does that bucket follows? If you look at the swatches, it follows the swatches, right? So the very first swatch is none. So that's what it has. But if I actually use the arrow key and I'm going to move, you see that you're moving also in the swatches. Now I have black and red and yellow, blah, blah, everything you want. And you can move down and, go to brown. You can do whatever you like, really. I'm going to go with brown. Now, if I go with brown, and now I have a nice, beautiful chocolate brown, and I click on here, now it's filling this path. And then I can fill this path and whatever else. Now, let me show you, though. I know because I know myself. Look how cool this is. But I know myself and I know my settings. I have preferred settings. I have my custom things in Illustrator. So there is a tool called Live Paint. There is a part of the Live Paint that is called Live Paint Settings or Gap Options. You need to find it under Object, Live Paint, Gap Option. I have by default large gaps, but the default is actually generally small gaps. So if you're trying to do it in your computer, you'll see that when you go in Live Paint, after you have everything selected, you hit K, and you go in there with the brown, it actually fills the whole head. And you're thinking, wait a minute, how is that in Enrica worked so much better? I'm going to say Command Z. Because Enrica, by default, is always there, this large gap option. So I know that I can fill the large gaps. Now, some of you might say, what is she talking about? Which gaps is she talking about? Let me zoom in. This is a gap. Do you see that? Do you see that hole right here? When I dump the color on that side of the cow, right there on this side, this is considered a large gap. So if my default is a small gap, obviously the color is going to spill onto the white. That is not going to be cool. It's not going to be good. So I recommend that you potentially, if you can, have the large gaps on just because it makes it a lot easier. And then once you have the large gap on, you hit K and you choose your colors and say, okay, for example, I want this one to be brown and this one to be brown, but I also want my nose to be pink. Now, I did not honestly prepare good colors, so you got to forgive me about that. So the nose is going to be quite pink. Oopsie. And then I'm going to choose a white and make it white. And why don't we make the nose kind of nice, a green color? I mean, we're artists, aren't we? You get the picture here, though. It's very easy to color when you use Live Paint. You don't have to worry about much. You create these outlines, and then you go in and populate it with beautiful colors. Now, you might tell me, how do I populate with beautiful colors that the swatches palette gives me these kind of so-so colors? They're not cool at all. So obviously, you can pick a color. You can go in and say, oh, I need to find the pink for the nose of the cow. And the pinks are up here. I'm going to go in here, and that's kind of a good color for the nose of the cow, for example. Let's say you choose this one. So how do you bring it into your swatches? Illustrator has this gorgeous, gorgeous, amazing, super fun mode of operation since Illustrator started, 25 years ago, and it's called drag and drop. So whenever you want to do something, the very first thing you should think about is, what if I click it and drag it? Oh, done. It's in my swatches. Am I cool or what? So I can go in right now. I can go back into my Live Paint here and say, I'm going to put a nice pink because that green did not look good. Sorry, Enrica. So you get the picture, right? That is really easy to add colors. But also, if you're kind of the type, let's say you're not an artist, you're a different major, and you feel nervous about colors. Colors are not easy for anyone. Even after 20 years of design, they're hard. They're hard means I'm always kind of trying really to get the right colors and to develop a great color sensibility. Now, remember, I was an interior designer in San Francisco, and I was picking colors for incredibly beautiful public buildings. So I practiced, and I still struggle with colors because they're great, but they're complicated. So one thing you can do is go under this options in the swatches and choose swatch options, or actually the best is open swatch library. Open swatch library allows you to choose which swatches you want. So for example, you can say, you know what, I'm going to go with neutrals, or with, you could have even patterns, by the way. Well, let's go with, oh, let's try scientific and choose. I don't know if you know what colors, this is really, you have to know colors well to understand this. Complementary are not going to really be that easy to use. Oh, look, I had neutral open. Look how that's pretty cool. This would be a good nose for the cow too, by the way. In fact, it might be the best nose for the cow. Anyway, here is a landscape, neutral, complementary. You get the picture, right? Once you choose under this swatch library, you can pick whatever color you want. And you could even make your own custom color. And I think I don't want to go further today. I'm going to show you next class how you can make your own colors, a color palette you really love through a different tools, a beautiful app that is by Adobe called Color, in fact. And then you can export that color combination you made as an ASE file on your desktop. And right here, you can load it in Illustrator. And all of a sudden you have in your, right, just like you have swatches here, you'll have your own. And you can call it Enrica or Sarah or Andy or Sasha, Cole, whatever you want to call it. So I will show you that next time, just because I want today really to get to see your work in project one, because we're still getting there, and it's due on Sunday. I want to help you as much as I can. But I thought this would really help you when it was time to color your project one, the parts that requires color, or even the parts that is black and white. If you're using black and white like negative and positive space, this light paint might be really a lifesaver or a nice shortcut. Do you guys have any questions?
I was wondering, I thought that when I looked at the color options, you can also create your own in Illustrator using like a color wheel.
Yeah.
Is that true? Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, maybe I went too fast. I apologize. You can go in here and right here. I mean, honestly, this interface, this color picker, if you go in the preferences, can look many different ways. This is the default one. But remember, you can pick any color in here. Say, okay, let's say I want a purple, a really nice purple I'm going to use for something, this kind of eggplant purple. You can say, okay, then you can open your swatches and drag and drop. And all of a sudden you got it, is right there. Do you remember last time I brought in that weird, pinkish color that is on the nose of the cow? So you can definitely make your own color on the fly like that. Now it's harder in Illustrator to make your own color palette. That means a set of 5 or 6 colors. You can do them one at a time. That is why I want to show you how you can use color. That is a different app though, that allows you to even pick an image. Let's say you found a beautiful image like this calf, and you want to sample colors from this calf. You can, in that interface, you can bring in an image, and it will, by default, grab 5 colors from that image. But then you can kind of move around the pointer and pick a different one, and eventually you'll find yourself with these 5 colors that are derived from the image that you're tracing. So that's something that I will, if you want to, I can put try to find a tutorial online and place it on Canvas. In fact, I'll do that. I don't want to necessarily right now take the time to show it to you because it's not indispensable. You can actually pick, like you said, your own colors in Illustrator, and it's actually good practice. Also, I really want to see your projects. I feel like if I can help you with the sketches, we should be almost there at this point, but I still want to take a quick look and make sure you're on the right path. Any other questions?
Awesome. Thank you.
Any other questions, anyone?
Yeah, I was curious if you could do like the color blending that Nick went over with the
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
You can do anything. In fact, Sarah, I was going to show you exactly that right now. Let me see if I find it. Oops. Sorry, I'm looking for our class, but I don't see it. Where is it? Oh, it's because I have the interface of, sorry, I have the Zoom interface in my way. It means it gets to block what's important. I know I have it, I had it already open though, so it drives me a little crazy. Oh, right here, it was already open. Okay, if you look, guys, on week 3, you remember the learning resources? There's where you have all the techniques, the tricks, everything that you can learn in terms of design and composition up here. And this goes into the discussion every week that is due on Wednesday and again on Sunday when you respond to your classmates. Down here, Nick shows you, he added a demo on color and shows you how to do color, you know, in a slightly different way that I just showed you, different technique, but that's really, really helpful. Also, if you look at the practice video this week, it talks about shape builder tool. So how do you take a shape and then modify, but also how do you create beautiful paths with the editing path, trimming path, how you can do it with shapes, how you can do it with the pencil tool, the brush tool, the pen tool. You have, you know, really a plethora of videos, and they're very sweet and short. So it won't take you too long, and they're very much lifesaver for this exercise in particular, where you're at this point having to make paths, right? So that's a really good resource. Any questions on the Canvas part? Anything you want to see on Canvas that will help? Nick had posted a really long video of his entire class. And last night I felt sorry because I know you were tight on time. So instead of the whole hour and a half of his class, I cropped it to the 25 minutes in which he does the demo. So I took the video in Premiere, chopped it up and made the sound right and everything and re-imported it here. So hopefully that will save you a little time. Any question before I stop the sharing and I go into breakout rooms?
I have a follow-up question. Sorry, I realized my question wasn't super clear. Could you use the blending with the live paint? Live paint bucket tool.
No, that's a great
Okay.
question. That fabulous, Sarah. Thank you for clarifying. I didn't understand that. I thought you said, can I just use it? But yeah, it doesn't, live paint, it does not support that. That's true. Do you remember that I told you that in my 183, I'll show you another amazing tool called the mesh tool. That's what the mesh tool allows you to do. Allows you to, it works just like live paint in which you can color where you need to. And it also allows you within it to control gradients, to control, you know, anything you want. That's kind of the Ferrari, this fast speed, amazing car you can get, but you got to wait to 183. Patience. I'm glad you want to learn though. I'm excited for you. So I'm going to stop the sharing right now, and I'm going to go into breakout rooms and critiquing your work. Now, we have little time, and we're at the last kind of this project. I know this project has gone on for now 3 weeks almost, right? We've been talking about it, playing with it, doing stuff. Last push. So I want you guys to be ready. Be ready with files open for your Illustrator file that you started and your sketches, and tell me what you're trying to do so it makes it immediately clear. And I'll give you my peace of mind if it's necessary. If I see that you're doing great, I'll just do a thumb up and just move on. But show it also to your classmate, because the reviews of your classmate, your peers, are really helpful. And I know it's important to make a community. And I think this is one way to do it. So I'm going to put you in breakout rooms unless you have questions. Any questions? All right. Let's go in breakout rooms then of about 3 or 4 participants. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to visit every room as usual. If you have to leave, you know, at 5:30, 5:30, right? I'm trying to remember which day of the week it is. Please feel free to leave. But if you haven't shown me the work yet, last class or this one, please stick around. I'm going to stay with you until 6. I have office hour tomorrow between 3 and 4. So if you need me, just do me a favor and show me even quickly. Flash your work in front of me before you turn everything in on Sunday, so I have a chance to kind of help if I can help. See you in the breakout rooms. Oh, open all rooms.
John.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. So I know what Andy's doing because he showed it to me in office hour. What about the rest? So Kale and Brody and Carly, are you guys doing good?
So far, so good. Who wants to go first?
You start. You're at the top left in my video.
For sure. I'm going to share my screen real quick so you can kind of see where I'm going. So currently, this is what I'm working with for my gestural image.
Uh-huh.
So I transferred in one of the sketches I had. I actually did an image trace on it so I can mess around with the anchor points and kind of make it a more solid gestured image instead of just a bunch of lines displaying
No,
hourglass.
I would not do that. If I was you, I would retrace it and taper the lines like I showed in another demo in which I showed you how to make the line artistic. But doing the idea with this class, yes, it's easy to do a live trace. Bring an image, it converts your bitmap into a vector. But the idea in this class is that you practice the tools we've been trying to get you to learn, right? That is pen tool, pencil tool, brush tool. So don't do that. Just take the time to go in and trace it and then taper the lines artistically, do what it takes. But yeah, don't clean up a trace. Just start over so that,
Okay.
bring in your sketch and trace it. Kale,
Right.
I'm not torturing you. I promise it's going to be really helpful. Now, are you a graphic design student?
I am, yes.
Yeah, you really will need it, I promise. It means all the
Okay.
graphic design classes, type classes will expect you to know Illustrator inside out. So let's use the pen tool the most. I think it would be the most helpful. But
Okay.
if you want to go with pencil tool or brush tool, it's fine with me.
So what I'm hearing is then do kind of what we did, what you did the demo of earlier and trace around the image so I have a more solid outline.
Absolutely. And also you have a very clean line. If you go and look at the examples that are posted on Canvas, you'll see that the images, those 4 squares, have very beautifully crisp, clean lines. They're not a result of a tracing. They're a result of tracing with live trace, with a bitmap image, but they're a result of tracing with a pen tool or whatever tool you choose.
Okay, cool.
Thank you. What about wait, did you show me the logo one, the symbolic?
For the symbolic one, it was one of the sketches I showed you last time. Here, I'll share my sketches with you.
But no, don't share it. I saw them. You did not bring it into Illustrator yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, because I asked everyone, last class, I told everyone, make sure by next class that you have the symbolic and the gestural in Illustrator because we're running out of time. So
I know I've been trying to work on the gestural one recently and I haven't had time to get around to the symbolic yet.
All right, cool. What about Brody?
Yes. Here, I'll show you my symbolic because I'm still working on my gestural. Sec. Can you see my screen or no? No.
What? Yeah, you got to share your screen.
I'm trying. It says post disabled participant screen sharing.
No, is enabled. Like just like Kale could share, you should be able to share too.
Right. Yeah, I'm pressing the green arrow at the bottom that share screen, and it's not allowing me to.
Okay, let's do it maybe later. So that we
Okay.
don't get stuck. Maybe you can come to between 5:30 and 6, and we can troubleshoot it. Carly, you might want to do something, Brody, after you're done with talking to your classmate, is kind of log out, quit Zoom and jump back into the meeting and see if that fixes it. Sometimes just that fixes it.
Perfect, thank you.
Today I had a presentation. I had a similar problem that didn't work, and then I just restarted, and all of a sudden everything was fine. So yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Carly.
Yeah. Hold on. So I have this as my symbolic so far, and then this is my gestural.
I think both of them really work. They are very similar though. I almost feel like in the gestural, it would be kind of nice if you had a bunch of those, or if the leaves were kind of like more prominent and a little bit rotated so that you had a bit more flow to it. They work. I'm not telling you it's bad at all. In fact, it looks really good. Good job. I just feel like it would be nice if you could add a little variety. So for example, in the gestural, if you put some more radishes in the back, like 2 more, and made them smaller so that we could see that they're, in the distance, and maybe the line is thinner so that we start having like a little bit of three-dimensionality to it. You know what I mean? That the front one is kind of coming out more and the other one are recessed in space. That would kind of make a little bit of variety and make it a little bit more interesting.
Okay, thank
And it
you.
wouldn't be too hard because you could copy this one and just vary deeper the line differently, scale it a little bit. You know what I mean? It wouldn't take too much.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Good job.
Thank
I'm glad
you.
you brought them both into the computer. Andy, how are you?
Not too bad.
You want to show me something more than what we talked about in office hour, or do you have a plan and you're kind of busy? You're able to work.
Yeah, I'm still working on it. I gotta try and check in tomorrow.
Okay, make sure if you need me, do not hesitate. Don't wait to the last minute. Do not procrastinate. In fact, put yourself a goal. Say, hey, Enrique's available tomorrow between 3 and 4. I'm gonna have these two done, the symbolic and the gestural by then, so I can show her. Just force yourself, put yourself a deadline. It really helps. I do it to my own self all the time. Cool. I'm gonna go to the next. Excuse me?
Your office hours are 3 to 4, correct?
3 to 4, pretty much every day. Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursday. So not Mondays and Fridays, but if you do need me Mondays and Fridays, just let me know. And I don't have commitments, so you can just tell me.
Great, I'll be there tomorrow.
Now there is another office hour sometimes. Go look. I think there are a 3 to 4, and then there is 1 to 2 sometimes. Just go look in Canvas. Right now, I'm a little bit spacing out. It's posted on Canvas under me, the instructor, and a few other places like the syllabus and stuff. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Bye. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. So, Anla, you lost that beautiful painting behind you, did you?
It fell off. I have to put it back on.
All right. And it's funny because the camera cuts your face down, so I can see only part of it.
I know. I'm here though.
What about this? All right, guys. Who wants to show the sketches?
I can.
Sure.
Who wants to go
Sorry.
first? I think Anla and April are.
Oh, I was just saying we can't really, our things won't let us screen share, but yeah, Emma can go first.
I promise you can screen share because I was screen sharing in my prior group when all the students were doing it, except one.
It says that host disabled screen share for when I click on it.
That is weird. Oh, wow. I had it open earlier and said everybody can screen share, and now I had gone to only host. I have no idea why. Okay, try again.
Okay.
It's funny because in my prior room, the student did screen share, so obviously it was on, and I'd never turned it off. So it went off on its own, the beauty of Zoom.
It still says disabled.
I think I might be able to screen share for some weird reason. It's letting me.
Let me do multiple participant. I think I just realized what the bug was. I had only one participant at the time, and I bet if the prior person that was screen sharing did not exit, it would block the next one from screen sharing. So I'm sorry. It's my fault.
No, you're fine.
All right, try now and see if it works.
No.
What about Kira or the other ones? Does anybody can you guys screen share?
Oh, I can screen share.
Yeah,
that's
I
so
can
weird.
too.
Okay, good. So who's this though? I'm lost.
These are mine.
Cool. So are they, one is the symbol and the other one is the gestural?
Yes.
So the symbol really works and it's great. I mean, it's complex. I would possibly simplify a little bit by removing the line inside of the horn. Just clean it up because remember, it's supposed to be a symbol.
Okay.
But the problem with these two is that they are identical in the sense that they're basically the rhino from the same exact point of view.
Okay.
And you remember at the beginning of the project, we asked you to take the photos from 4 different point of views so you could illustrate it differently and have variety within those 4 squares. If you go and look at the student work that is posted, past the student work, that is posted on Canvas, you will see that variety. So I think what you need to do, Wyatt, is even though I obviously like what you're doing, and maybe you can use this for the color, you might have a little, you can maybe add here a baby rhino and color the 2, but I would definitely try to add variety in the gestural. So the gestural, the technical, and the symbolic should be really different.
Okay.
You could pick one of those and kind of add to it, but you got to kind of break out of being all the same because it's going to be
Yeah.
quite boring. But good
Yeah,
job.
I can do that. Cool. Thank you.
Good job. So do any of you girls can screen share? I think one could, right?
Yeah, let me try.
It's a mystery why some people can and some people cannot.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna do that. Can everyone see my screen?
Yep, I love your
Okay.
gestural. Really nicely done.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Very
So
nice.
that's the gestural down there. That's the one that I've started working on. And then I have just the sketches that I've had. And from the feedback I got, I think I'm going to do this one, which is the negative space. And it's a different point of view. Even though I like the kind of cubist one, it's the same like sort of like side view of the head.
I really
So I
like
think
the,
I'm going to.
I really like the top left too. If I was you,
Yeah.
I would now keep the feather part under the wings simple. But if I was you, I would possibly do 2 if you have the time. But I understand if you say no, I'm gonna first finish my 4 squares. You know, all of them are done. Then I go back to experimenting with the symbolic. I completely understand if you do that. But if you have the time, yeah, bring in a few and maybe turn them all if you make multiple ones, so I can really see that you experimented and found which one was the most appropriate to turn in.
Right. So you like the circular one rather than the rectangle?
I kind of like the circle one simply because the parrot itself has a lot of curves, and I find that it goes really well together.
Okay.
But again, I mean, let's make them an Illustrator and see how they work.
Right.
I bet
Absolutely.
the other one, the square one, is going to be simpler, cleaner. So if you think about logo, maybe that would be a better, choice. I don't know. I would have to make it an Illustrator to tell.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Can April share?
Yeah, I can do that. Okay. This is my symbolic. Oh wait, can you see it?
Kind of. It's
sort of cut off.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't. All right. There we go.
So let me ask you a very quick question here. You know, when we talk about design hierarchy and the focus, right? What is the focus in this image? It means, do you want people to see the square first or the fish first?
I guess the fish first.
What do you think they see first?
Probably the square because it's a thicker line.
What do the other classmates, what do you think? Like Kira and Wyatt and Anla, do you guys see the fish or the square, or you're torn between the two? What do you think?
I see the square first.
I see the square, yeah.
Me too.
So my point is, April, try to play with it. I mean, see if you can actually make that square thinner, and the fish might stand out more, or maybe you tell me actually works better with the square more visible. So I'm not saying that the fish has to be the prima donna, the primary element, but if you want it to be, then you really need to tune down that square.
Okay.
What about the gestural one?
Right, okay.
This is good though. This is good work, by the way.
Thank you. I had a bit of trouble with this one, but I just tried to like use the pen tool and like do the curves and shapes for the one that you said was my best option.
I like what you've done. What you need to do is what I showed in another demo a week ago, I think, in which I showed you how you can taper the lines so they become artistic. Do you remember using the brush library, the stroke palette, or the width tool? You need to use one of those techniques, those 3 techniques, so that this fish gets life. Right now it's very flat. But it has motion, is well done. I can see the path are nice. So just add the cherry on the cake, in quote.
Okay, thank you.
And Anla, you still cannot share?
Nope, it still says host disabled participant.
If you can please wait until the end and we try it again. I'm sorry about that. It seems
it's okay.
Mysterious why it's certain. In my prior breakout room, I had, again, 1 student that couldn't share. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
All right, I'll see you later then.
Okay, cool.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
How are you doing? Sorry, I wanted to go next. I want to make sure that the screen sharing is on. So can everybody screen share, guys? I've been having problems with that.
Yeah, I can't screen share.
What about the other ones?
We could though. Only
That is so weird. It's mind-boggling. In every breakout room, I have one person that cannot screen share. So if you
Yeah,
can only, yeah.
there was like, I think there's a Zoom update because like I had trouble like in my last like class with like Zoom stuff, and I think it was like if people like if everybody's not on the same update, then like people have different like experiences with Zoom.
So I should go and update. Today, though, I was in a meeting that they were talking about the update was actually creating problem and making these breakout room with one person per room. So I was hoping not to have to update, but I might have to. What a bummer.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't know. For us, it was like the opposite. Like after we like all updated, then it was like the breakout rooms were like perfect.
Okay, so I will update. Can I see everybody else first, and can you stay with me until later, until the end of class, Jackie?
I had like pictures on my phone. I took a picture like of my screen on my phone, if that like, because I was able to show them like that way. If that
Okay,
works.
so why don't we see it that way? Let me start with Alicia, that is at the very top left. I'm going to come a loop around.
Okay.
So I will update Zoom right after this class.
So I kind of just went in and did the color and technical too, even though I don't know if we were, I don't know, but this is what I have so far.
The problem with the color and the technical is they're identical, and they shouldn't be. Do you remember how at the beginning of the quarter we said take 4 photos from 4 different angles so that we have variety? Go look at other student work, past student work, and you'll see there is that variety. I think that the gestural is hard to tell that it is a rhino. I can barely really see that.
I chose that one because I remember last time you really liked my sketch that looked like that one. That's why I chose it.
Yeah, but it didn't it? I probably was assuming that it had legs because from the sketch I was assuming that you would have legs in there. So you got to improve this one. I think the symbolic is really hard to read as a rhino. I think you need to play more. Also, you're not allowed to use gradients in the gestural, symbolic, and technical. You're just allowed to use black or white, no gray, right? So you have to remove the gradients. And if I was you, I would come up with other options for the symbolic, because I don't think this is a very rhino-like. I can barely tell is a rhino.
Okay.
And I think once you take the gradients off, will be kind of very boring in a way, right? Maybe we can see it again. But do you have the sketches for the symbolic? Did we approve?
Yeah, that was the one that you chose also. I went off of what you liked.
Can I see that? Can I see the
let me see if I have that.
And by the way, the one I like doesn't mean much because once you bring it into the digital environment, it changes, right? So I can tell you, I think that has potential, but it is hard to tell.
I can just show you this way.
Let me see if I can see it better. Oops. Let me see right now. Oh, cool. I managed to. Yeah, I did like that one, but I have to admit, in digital world, it seems really like it doesn't work. What do your classmates think?
Some of my other last time they liked this one. I think that one looked cool.
Yeah, I think the first one actually works better. Sorry if I gave you a different one. I just, as I said, most of the time I'm kind of like trying to guess what is going to work, but that doesn't mean I have the answer. And in terms of the technical, by the way, I think you misunderstood. The technical has to be a super detailed drawing, and you don't have it detailed, and it has to be from different perspective. So you have a little bit more work to do, but you're on the right track.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna redo the technical and do a different perspective and make it more detailed than that because it's not really super.
If you want to show it to me, I'm an office hour tomorrow. I'm there. I'll be waiting. Happy to see it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Elise.
Here it is. This is the symbolic and this is the gestural, and here are the sketches for those.
Yeah, they work. I think that in the symbolic, the turtle could have a different width than the outer line. So my point is the circular lines that are kind of hugging the turtle, the stroke could be thinner, or the stroke could be thinner in the turtle, because in the turtle you already painted the shell black that makes it really stand out. So even if the lines of the fins and the heads are thinner, it will work. But I think the two elements are different. One is the turtle, one is the circle in the back. So they should have different stroke, I think, if you can.
Yeah. Okay, I agree.
Just play with it. I like the gestural because it's very, the way gestural is supposed to be, kind of fast and, flowy, and fast sketching, very flowy. So that works. So you did a great job. Thank you, Elise.
Yeah.
What about Ellery? Oh, actually, no, Jackie said she can show it to us on her phone. Can you do that, Jackie?
I was on mute. Yes, I can do that. Okay, so the first one is my gestural. Let's see if this will focus. There we go.
Oh yeah. Now is that in Illustrator?
Yeah.
Wow.
I use
that's
a pen tool. Or
That's
yeah.
awesome. I'm proud of you, especially because the pen tool is not easy. It looks really good.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Basically, yeah, what I did is I used the pen tool and then I outlined the stroke. So like I can play around the thickness on that. And
Awesome.
then, oops. And then this is my symbolic. Oops, sorry, there's a line. There we go.
Yeah,
That's just
that
the
works
center
really
mark.
well too. Very simple, very clean. Cool.
Okay.
Good
Thank
job,
you.
Jackie. I'm glad I got to see your drawings. That's awesome.
Thank you.
What about Ellery?
Okay, hello. So I have, I can show mine, and I just want to say I made an edit to my symbolic one kind of while we were talking. So I have a couple versions because I got some good advice. So this is the first one, and yeah, this is what I have so far. I've included my technical because it was just on the page.
Now, I
But
have a question. I have a question, Ellery. You got some good advice from your classmates?
yes,
That's so
right
awesome.
now.
I'm very happy
So
that you help each
yeah.
other.
Yeah, absolutely. So they were telling me that my symbolic one was looking really complicated.
But it's beautiful. If I was you, I would just keep it, try to make it simpler, but it's really beautiful.
So I did, let me see. I did create a more simple version just now. Here we go, where I removed the flower and I filled in some spaces to make them darker, and I could play around with what I did, but that's a more simple version.
Yeah, it looks wonderful. I think it looks good. I wonder if still I would kind of finagle with removing some more lines. Like, do you see that there's actually, it looks pretty darn good. It means we can totally read it. It's not redundant. It's not too busy. It's a little busy, but not too busy. So it looks great. And I think the technical looks great because you're very loyal to the bug and detailing it really well. And the gestural looks really great. The problem with the gestural is you're not supposed to use gray. So I hate to tell you because I love it as it is, but you really need to remove the fills. Sorry.
Okay, I can do that.
But
yeah,
it looks
for sure.
fantastic. That's really good.
Okay, thank you.
Good work. Very good work.
Okay.
Fantastic work. I love it. Love it when I have peace of mind and you're working hard and you're learning so much. I'm really happy. I'll see you later. I have to run.
Did you say your office hours are tomorrow at 4 to 6?
3 to 4. If it's on Canvas, 3 to 4 every day, Tuesday through Thursday. Okay. And then I think there's an extra hour, but it's definitely tomorrow, 3 to 4. I'm going to be available.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Hi. So can you guys share the screen? I know there is an issue, and it's given by the fact that I might not have the latest Zoom, so I need to update, but hopefully you guys can. Can you share the screen, Evan?
I don't have my Illustrator sketches yet. I didn't see your email, but I'm gonna work on them right now after.
Okay, what about Anna?
Yeah, I have mine. I only did the symbolics. But here.
That's okay.
I just started them, but this is what I have so far. They're just like, I just kind of wanted to like get them down and then like tweak them as I went.
I don't think that the one on the top right works.
Okay.
Right now, yeah. I mean, it's kind of a little rigid and funky.
Yeah, I didn't finish that one. That was like the one that I was like working on.
What do you guys think? The other one, Kiyomi and Evan, do you like better the top or the bottom for the symbolic?
I honestly really like the left one, or like the top left one. I really like how the tail like brings it all together and makes it like really look like an icon.
I think I don't like the arms that are so rigidly out there, and at the end they look like they have a fin, almost a fin of a whale. I think the arms are kind of a little bit weird. You almost, I feel like you could take it off completely, and imagine that the arm of or I don't know. You got to do something with that arm. It seems weird.
I'd say do the trace thing that we worked on for the silhouette, and then like you know how the tail's going all the way around. Just make an ellipse, like a perfect circle ellipse, if it's gonna be a symbol mark like that.
Also, I don't like how busy it is to have the loop at the bottom, but below the monkey, and then the monkey above is really, both are really very intense, kind of, you know, rich shapes. I almost feel like I want to see one or the other. Anyway, just play a little bit more. It means take that and copy it a bunch of time and remove the loop and just make that circle kind of be a circle. And then obviously take the legs and bend them down like it's sitting if you want to have something like that, because also the legs are kind of sticking out. I feel like the legs and the arms are just kind of unnatural. So yeah, I would probably try to play with it a little bit. I do like the bottom one though. I mean, honestly, I think the bottom one really works. I would probably make the tail longer and create almost an arc on top of the monkey. So I have the tail becomes like an arc that almost connects to the far ear, the ear on the far left.
Okay.
So sorry, Kaylin is asking me for help. So Kiyomi, do you have something to show me?
Yeah, so you wanted me to like redo my symbolic ones.
Yeah.
So I wanted to show you before I start them on Illustrator.
Okay. Let me say later and run to room 5 as fast as I can after I see you.
Okay.
Your sketches.
Yeah. So here's my new symbolic ones.
I don't know. What do your classmates? I kind of almost like the one in the top right because it's so simple.
This one? Yeah, that's what I worked on. I really wanted to simplify what I had because the ones you said before worked.
So you have to play, you'll have to play with line thicknesses to make it interesting.
Okay, so I can make like these lines thicker.
I would do the opposite. I would make the head thicker and the tentacles thinner because that's how the jellyfish is.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Any other question, everyone?
Wait, are we supposed to, for the Illustrator, are we supposed to do 2 gestural and then like 2 symbolic, or just all symbolic?
Go and look at the description of project 1. You have 4 square, symbolic, 1 symbolic, 1 gestural, 1 technical, 1 color.
Okay.
But there is a really extensive description of the entire project with example of past student work in week 1. When we started the first week, everything is really spelled out. And then if you have questions, feel free to email me. Okay? Let me go help Kaylin that really, yes.
What time is office hours tomorrow? Could you repeat it? Sorry.
3 to 4.
3 to 4. Thank you.
Is on Canvas as well. All right. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Funny.
Hello.
Hi, Kaylin. I'm sorry. I had to finish something, but I ran as fast as I could.
No worries. I can't share my screen for some reason, but the other 2 people can, so they can go first.
I'm sorry. I found out there was an update on Zoom, and I think it could be that because I found out about it today, and I did not update it, and apparently that's the problem. Could be the problem, but it sounds nonsense that some people can share and some people cannot. I don't know. I'm sorry, Kaylin. I will, as soon as this class is over, I'll update immediately, and you can, we can meet later tonight.
I can stick around, yeah.
Yeah, you can stick around, or tomorrow office hour, or even tomorrow morning if you need me tomorrow morning. Office hour is 3 to 4, but I can meet you anytime you need me. All right, guys. What about Sebastian and Mason? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first because I only got to one of them. I got sick, not COVID, I found out, thankfully. So I've just been trying to sleep a lot.
I'm glad that you feel better though, right?
Yes, I'm starting to feel a lot better. I only have a cough. I'm not completely finished with it or censored it quite just yet, but my idea is to add a little more depth so that the eyes become the center of the drawing.
So since you have a lot to do, Sebastian, I encourage you to actually move on to the other ones before you spend a whole lot longer on this, because at least you got this accomplished. What I see as a possibility is to remove the round part of the eye and make this lit black, just to simplify. Because remember, the idea with the logo or symbolic is to keep it bare bones, as simple as it gets. So
Okay.
take those eyes, even though you want to make them prominent, they'll still be prominent. If you take the ball part, the round part, take it off, and the
So
slit
you want me
part,
to
make it.
invert the iris essentially? Okay. I was thinking about potentially doing that. Okay.
But
Thank you.
please focus on the others now, because
I
you have
will.
a lot to do.
I
Okay?
have all Friday. I don't have class on Friday. That's my like work day.
So if you need me on Friday, I'm available. I don't have office hour, but just let me know.
Okay, thank you so much. Here, let me
What about
stop.
Mason? How are you?
I am doing okay. I'm pretty happy with my symbolic, and I'm not sure how I feel about my gestural. Can you see?
Yeah, first of all, I'm sure is maybe just a placeholder. You know that you have to stick to black and white for these, right?
Yeah, I can make the symbolic black and white. I was just seeing how it looked with color, but yeah.
Because right now, it's not just that, is that right now you have the brown and the black. So I want to tell you that you cannot have those two colors there. You have to possibly find a way that maybe that black part is just stroked. The rest is white, and what is brown is black.
Yeah.
They actually both look pretty good. In fact, they look great to me. It means that if I was you, I would focus on the other two at this point. Because
Okay.
the technical and the color are quite tedious. They don't take a ton of design and thinking, but it takes labor.
Okay.
What you could do with the gestural is I would taper the line. What you seem to do is that you scanned your sketch and live traced it. Did you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to go in and trace the line, with the paths and everything else. Means the idea with this class is that you learn how to use the tools in Illustrator, not that you take a bitmap and just turn it into the vector through a quick Illustrator tool. The idea is that you practice, and I'm sure you'll benefit from it, especially if you're an art and design student.
Yeah. Okay.
Means for the next 4 years, that's what you're going to play with is Illustrator.
Yeah.
Awesome. So fantastic. Good work. And Kaylin, stick around. I promise as fast as I can, I'll update Zoom so I get to see you. Okay?
Okay. How many more rooms do you have to go through just so I can get kind of like a time frame?
I think I have just 2 more. And but in every room I had students that were in your boat. One student here, one student there that can show me stuff. But I'll try to be as fast as I can. Let me see. In fact, I might tell the other ones, let's hold tight and I update. I just worry that it takes a while to update, but I'll be back.
I mean, I just updated this morning and it was pretty quick, so I think
that's
what
I might do. I might see how many people are in room 4. Actually, so I have room 4 and 6 to visit. It doesn't look like there's anybody in room 4. Wow. Okay, let me go. So I might have just 1 room. I'll be as fast as I can. Promise.
Okay, sounds good.
Do like.
Hello. Hi. So I'm sorry to tell you that I found out there's a new release of Zoom. I did not update today. So some people cannot screen share and some people can't. So I want to go kind of as fast as I can so I can do the update. And the student that I did not get to see their sketches, they still get a chance. So please show me your sketches as fast as possible. And you can still get to me tomorrow or Friday. So it's not that we have this 5 minutes chance only. So
Lauren, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. So I have my gesture on Illustrator that I'm going to use, but then I actually have been like changing my symbolic one a lot from this breakout room. So, okay, this is the one that I have. This was my gesture. And then I'm not going to do this symbolic one anymore, but this is the gesture that I came up with for the rubber tree.
I cannot tell. Do you guys, looking at the gesture, does it feel like a rubber tree? Or does it feel like anything? It could be anything.
Yeah, I used a picture that I found, like when they're replanting the rubber trees, they plant them in these like straight lines. Like
if I was you in the gestural, instead of doing the entire tree, because those don't even look like trees. It looks like kind of squiggles or weeds maybe. So if I was you, I would take actually the leaves, like 2 or 3 leaves, rotate them in a diagonal and trace them, and then create those artistic line I showed you in last week in a technical demo. That's what I would do. It doesn't really work, Lauren, I don't think. What do you guys think? What does Sasha and Sarah think?
I like the gestural. I think like I can definitely see a tree shape with that. I definitely see your critiques. But I personally enjoy it.
But can you tell that it's a rubber tree? Yeah, it could look like a tree, but you cannot tell it's the rubber tree, right?
Right.
And that's kind of what we need to do, is actually illustrate that particular topic. And that's why I say it doesn't work. I'm not saying it's bad, just doesn't work for what we need to accomplish. But I really like you tried. I tell my student how important it is to experiment. You'll never know if it works or not unless you play with it. So I encourage you to try again. I'm sure you can do it. And in the symbol, you don't have anything yet, right? You said you don't want to do that one, but you don't have anything else?
I've been experimenting with this, like doing a leaf kind of situation where it's similar to those pictures where they have like the forest where it's split in half and half the side is like destroyed and the other half is lively. So I was thinking like in the leaf to do that. Actually, Sasha helped me come up with that one.
It's a good idea. Just show it to me, because I might be able to help you simplify it and make it look like that, because it's not easy. You would have to play with negative space. You would have to do a few tricks that is hard to have in freshman level. So please talk to me. Maybe show it to me tomorrow or whenever you get a chance.
Okay, I will.
What about Sarah?
I can't share my screen.
What about Sasha?
So I have the frogs like we looked at kind of last time. This is kind of what I decided on, the symbolic gesture, and then I think I want to do this frog as color because it's the most iconic frog, like poison frog that there is with colors. And then technical, I'm not sure if I want to do the jumping or just the top-down view. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like this one could be more useful with what we're doing with those little page spreads. This one might be hard to kind of put somewhere because it's so thin. It could maybe go like in the background or something, or be kind of small, but I'm not really closed off to either option. I kind of mostly just wondered what you thought about which would be better.
I like better the leaping one.
Yeah, okay.
For a matter of variety, because that way, I mean, there's that diagonal that is really strong. I know it's thin, but in technical, remember, it's really a matter of going in and putting strokes, one after the other, and be very, very detailed. I really like the leaping one a lot.
Okay.
Also, remember the logo one, you already have a top view of the frog. And in that one, if you put another top view of the frog, I feel like it's kind of really nice to have variety. But ultimately, guys, it's your work. And I want you to be passionate of it. So I can give you my peace of mind, but I respect, what you want to do, what you want to pursue as well. Bottom line, both would work. You choose.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna go check the last room and then so stick there because I'm gonna do a update and come back and hope that you guys are still there and we can see. There are only 3 or 4 students to see, but stick with me. I'll be there as fast as I can.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna actually end everything.